Okay, I'll call the meeting to order of the Upper Big Blue Natural Resource District. Open Meeting Act, the public notice has been published in the York News Time on July 20th of 2023. The Open Meeting Act is posted in the back, but in the back of the room by the door. Reminder, all cell phones should be silenced during the meeting. Please be aware this meeting is being recorded. When speaking, the desktop microphone button must be depressed. This ensures that your comments are recorded in their entire context. The recording becomes part of the public record along with written board minutes in accordance with state statute. Roll call.
Bethune.
Here.
Anthony Bohaty.
Here.
Jeff Bohaty.
Here.
Richard Bohaty.
Here.
Dickinson.
Here.
Grotz.
Here.
Houdersheldt.
Here.
Kuehner.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Nuss.
Here.
Otte.
Here.
Perry.
Here.
Peterson.
Here.
Siebert.
Here.
Stahly. Here. Weiss.
Here.
Yates.
Here.
Have a quorum.
Hey, the next item, everyone's here, so there's no excused absence. Public comment, anyone may comment on any matter that is not on this agenda. However, no board action can be taken until the following board meeting according to Nebraska Open Meeting Act, unless the board declares it an emergency. Please hold comments on any listed item until it is considered. We do have one person that wants to say something. So, Larry. Yeah, talk into the mic. Give us your name and your address, please.
First thing, Larry Morey, this is Nebraska, and it is not for tonight. Try it again. Can you hear me now? Nope. Is it on? But I'm gonna say, well, I can spit right in it. Okay, I can do that. I'll just spit right in it. Kind of like you and tobacco. First thing, I'm gonna have to eat a little crow tonight, I think. About a year ago, Bill Kuehner thought we ought to have a code of conduct, and I was pretty skeptical. I really didn't think we needed one, and I kind of argued against it, but I've changed my mind after I had a year to think about it, so I guess crow is pretty good if you serve it up right. I started watching the legislature circus all winter and watching what's going on around the rest of these boards. And there's just way too many recalls and petitions and calls for admissions from any kind of board you name. The NRDs aren't any worse or they're any better than anybody else either. The thing that's concerned me, especially with the legislative and the NRD activities, up until couple of years ago, I couldn't have told you who 10% of the NRD members or the legislative members, what party they belonged to. It was just pretty much non-political. Now it's everybody seems to be choosing up sides. Another thing that's concerned me, and everybody's doing it, is national right on down. And we're just extensive use and abuse of the social media. It's just changing the environment for how regulatory and legislative bodies can conduct business. And hopefully codes of conduct will help these groups defend themselves from false charges. If you've got a code of conduct and you've got it published and you're living within it, it's probably going to help you with somebody getting after you. It's kind of like when new board members first get elected, they're kind of nervous, a lot of them, about recording the meetings. That tape recording is your life insurance a lot of times. If you said something stupid, you got to live with it. But if they're misquoting you, you're protected. So that's kind of why I look at this code of conduct may do that. If you're dumb, you're dumb. Can't help it. Things that I would like to see in a code of conduct, and this is just pretty rough items, things that need to be addressed, and I don't know how to handle it, sure, but somehow to prevent the use of confidential information for personal gain. Something that you learn in either an executive session or any place to use it for your own money. And one that's gotten worse over time, I think, it's really getting bad, in my opinion, is executive sessions aren't executive sessions anymore. And about 2 days after a session, it's all over the coffee shops. And somehow boards and board members need to tighten that up. And there should be a clearly stated procedure. Most of us do it, but if you've got a conflict or it appears you've got a conflict, the board member should state that and refrain from doing debate or voting on it. I mean, it's just for the appearance and nothing else. That's another one that really has gotten a lot of guys in trouble, and all of us at one time or other. If you're going to talk about board business or action or something, for guys' sakes, make sure that the persons you're talking to understand that it's your opinion, not anybody else's opinion, unless you've been asked by the manager or the board chairman to represent the board at a meeting or present testimony, and then be sure that you say you're here on behalf of whoever you're, and that needs to be added in there. These are just things that we're all doing, but it's things I think are important. Thing I stumbled onto in the last day or so, and Paul Bethune's got way more than I know about that. There's NRD has got a guideline for developing a code that's got a lot of good stuff in it. It looks like it'd be a real good place to go to start, and I'm sure every district that looks at it will make it a little bit different. But that's all I really got to say is I think you need to get a code done, but take your time, get it right, and I think it's fine. We've lived a long time without it, but times have changed. We've got to change with them. And that's really all I've got to say outside of these are my thoughts and nobody else's. And if you want to jump on my height, jump right on. But thanks for your time. Keep up the good work, and I'm glad to be here. That's all I've got.
Okay, thank you, Larry. The next thing on the agenda is the adoption of this agenda. Would someone like to? A motion in regards to that?
Move to adopt the agenda as printed.
Okay, roll call.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff, Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
and Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Otte,
yes,
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes, Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, approval of minutes of the June 15th, 2023 Board of Directors meeting. We have a motion.
Second.
Does anyone have any additions, corrections, or anything to those minutes? Roll call.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz, Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes,
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes, Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda is a staff recognition. And I have a little bit here I want to read. So in 1978, John Turnbull and Jay Bittner hired Jeff Primary to work dam projects for the groundwater retention recharge. When he started out, equipment for the job was a bit different. There was only one computer terminal in the office, and it was linked to a machine at UNL. Survey tools included a transit level when he was in the field, and had a question, he had to drive into town and find a phone to call the office. Equipment has evolved, and so has Jeff's job. Jeff was a big part of the design, construction of recharge, as well as any other NRD recreation areas. He has been very involved with inspections and maintenance of NRD dams, including surveying, modeling, as well as controlling trees, weeds, and dams to protect their integrity. This custom benchmark, which some of you saw this the other night, is a very appropriate gift for Jeff. For those that don't know, a surveyor's benchmark is a permanent mark established at a known elevation that is used as the basis for measuring the elevation of other topographical points and provides a reference point for accuracy and consistency. It is essential for ensuring that measurements are accurate. In the same way, Jeff has been diligent and dependent part of the NRD team for 45 years. His integrity, work ethic, and superior knowledge and skills have made him an essential reference point for the projects department. You can always count on Jeff to do an outstanding job, no matter what the task, doing work that is often tedious or physical challenging. He is always willing to help others and to ensure the NRD projects are at the highest quality. With this, we celebrate Jeff for the contribution he has made through the years and thank him for his dedicated service. Thank you, Jeff, very much. "45 years is quite a while, you know, stick that, I don't know if, when you started, if you thought, you know, you're gonna make a career out of this place or not, but I want to thank you. Here, I'll let you hold that.
Small, yeah, it
There.
works better for him to hold it. You guys can actually come this way just a
Okay.
little bit. There we go. Looks great. Very good.
Hey, look at that. Talent, good job. I don't know if you want to say anything, I don't put you on the spot or anything, but you're more than welcome to say something if you want to.
Well, the reason why I stayed is because it was gratifying work and it was interesting work because I got to do a project from the ground up to completion. So I got to survey, got to design, model, draft it up, help with the specifications, help with getting the contractor, and then inspecting on the contractor, and also in the payment end of it too. So the whole thing kept you interested in the job, and everything was new. Every job was different, and that's why I stayed.
Okay.
It was a good job, good people.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Here. So, yeah.
You get to take it home this time.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yes. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on to the Water and Regulations Committee report. Kendall.
The Water and Regulations Committee met Tuesday, July 13th, 2023 at 7:00 PM at the NRD office. Those who participated are listed below. Bohaty, Dickinson, committee members were Bohaty, Dickinson, Grotz, Miller, Otte, Peterson, Stahly, myself, and Yates. Other directors included Bethune, Anthony Bohaty, Richard Bohaty, Houdersheldt, Kuehner, Nuss, Perry, and Weiss. The other staff that were also present are listed below. Action items: Aquifer Quality Well Abandonment Cost Share Assistance Program payments. 4 Aquifer Quality Well Abandonment Cost Share Assistant Program applications have been approved for final payment totaling $3,000. A list is attached. Motion to make cost share payments for 4 well abandonments as reviewed by the committee at a cost of $3,000. Motion carried 9 yes and 0 no, and I so move.
Is there any questions or comments on this? Roll call.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff, Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item B, water meter repair cost share assistance program. 6 water meter repair cost share assistance programs applications have been approved for final payment totaling $1,650.60. The list is attached. Motion to make cost share payments for 6 water meter repairs as reviewed by the committee at a cost of $1,650.60. This motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Any questions or comments on this? Roll call.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item C, Vado Zone Study Payment, University of Nebraska Lincoln. An invoice has been received for work completed on the Vado Zone Study from May 1, 2023 through May 31st, 2023, totaling $2,826.09. A copy of the invoice is attached. Motion to pay the University of Nebraska Lincoln for work completed on the Vado Zone Study totaling $2,826.09. This motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move. Second.
Any questions on this? Roll call.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item D, Chemigation Incentive Program Payments. 15 Chemigation Incentive Cost Share Assistance Program applications have been approved for final payment totaling $12,458.63. A list is attached. Motion to make cost share payments for 15 Chemigation Incentive Assistance as reviewed by the committee in the amount of $12,458.63. Motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move. Second.
Any questions on this, comments? Roll call.
Houdersheldt,
Yeah.
Kuehner,
Abstain.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
No.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
No.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz.
Yeah.
Yates,
Yes.
That carried 14 yes, 2 no, 1 not voting.
Item E, Olson invoice, nitrogen use report payment. ESA with Olson are continuing to work with staff to draft a phase 2 and 3 management area summary report. Olson has submitted an invoice totaling $14,303.03 for work completed through June 10, 2023. Motion to pay Olson for work completed on the phase 2 and 3 management area summary report totaling $14,303.03. Motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move. Second.
Have a second.
Miller.
Oh.
Miller, okay,
Yeah.
works for me.
There any questions on this or comments? Roll call.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item F, certification of irrigated acres. The committee reviewed the irrigated acres certification for 50 parcels totaling $3,683.64. Oh, total acres, sorry. Yielding an increase of irrigated acres of 225.62. The total irrigated acres for the district are 1,248,071.09 acres. Irrigated acre changes for by parcel is attached. The committee also reviewed the acre change to one wetland parcel yielding a decrease of wetland acres of 36 acres. Motion to certify the acre changes as presented to the committee. Motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
second,
Is there any questions on this or comments? Roll call.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item G, final draft water department budget. Staff reviewed the final draft of the water department budget with the committee. Corrections to revenue and expenses were added for the regenerative ag day event scheduled for February 2024, and a capital expenditure of $70,000 for a set of nested monitoring wells scheduled to be constructed in fiscal year 2023. Committee discussed the possibility of 2 large water user studies. Currently, the budget allows for 1 peer review. The committee instructed staff to find out the amount of funds needed for a second large water use peer review and add that amount to professional services. 439 line item. Motion to forward the water department budget for the inclusion of funds for a second large water use study peer review to the executive committee for inclusion in the consolidated budget. Motion carried 9 yes, 0 no. Apparently no board action required. Item H, rules enforcement update. Staff reviewed the list of producers who have never attended nitrogen certification training who currently have order of cease and desist filed against them. Originally, there were 5 orders of cease and desist issued by the board. Staff identified 1 producer who no longer farms in the phase 2 and 3 management area. Security Grain Company Incorporated, Teresa A. Freeman is no longer an operator and will need to have the order of cease and desist lifted. Motion to lift the order of cease and desist filed against Security Grain Company Incorporated, Teresa A. Freeman. Motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Is there any questions on this? Roll call.
Nuss, Otte,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Doug, Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item 2. Staff reviewed a list of phase 2, 3 producers who have failed to renew their nitrogen certification with the committee. Staff has followed the steps outlined in the district rules and regulations and issued a complaint violation. An intent to issue an order of cease and desist schedule of compliance. Staff is recommending the assurance of order of cease and desist. A list is attached. Motion to issue orders of cease and desist for failure to renew nitrogen certification to Gregory Bolte, Greg Erkensmeyer, Kevin Hine. We were updated before the meeting that Cody Huenfeld had came into compliance, so he can be taken out of that. Robert O. Neunenkamp and Ryan Router. This motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
You have a second?
Richard.
You say we're gonna strike Cody.
Cody
Huenfeld?
Huenfeld.
Any questions on this? Roll call.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item 3, staff are requesting the orders of cease and desist filed against those producers who have come into compliance or who are no longer farming with phase 2 and 3 and Hastings Management Area. Reporting to be lifted. A list is attached. Motion to lift the orders of cease and desist filed against Joel Anderson, Todd Anderson, Greg, Michael George, Curtis Hackbart, Dwayne Keller, Randall Neunenkamp, Mark Peters, Jason Chrysler, Clint Radovic, Kevin Schultz, Security Grain Company, Teresa Friesen, Andrew Schlepka, Matthew Snowberger, Scott Sunberg, Boris Balda, and Colton Weirs for coming into compliance with the phase 2 and 3 Hastings Management Area reports. This motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Any questions on this? Roll call.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yeah.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item 4, staff have been conducting routine inspections on tracks with active orders of cease and desist. Staff have turned 2 producers over to legal counsel for further action. Alan Luby and Taylor Peterson have been found in violation of their order of cease and desist for pumping groundwater for irrigation on fields in a phase 2 and 3 in Hastings Management Area. There is no board action required for that item, just for our information only. Discussion and no action items. Well permit summary, a summary of well construction permits for June was presented to the committee. Currently, there are 12,232 active irrigation wells. A copy is attached. Item J, K Junction solar discussion, rule 5, irrigated to non-irrigated because of land use change. Direction was given to staff to begin developing language to address the pooling of water on land where the land use has been changed from irrigated cropland to non-irrigated industrial development or temporary use outside of ag production. Staff presented basic language changes for further discussion by the committee. The committee reviewed the language and have asked for legal review of the proposed language. And there was no additional business. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Kendall. Paul.
Just an update on the K Solar. Wednesday night, got a knock on the door. Guy was from Oklahoma Public Power. They were supposed to, I don't know if they announced it yesterday or yesterday, but they bought EDF out. EDF was going to get out of the project. He didn't know why for sure. But he said they bought it for pennies on the dollar. And EDF is no longer people putting it up. And I said, well, what are we talking for time? They need a big transformer out in McCool, and they've got to build some line somewhere. It wasn't around McCool because they're not gonna take the electricity directly to Omaha. They're gonna sell it. That's what they're, because he said, we've got several other places we sell the electricity like the radio or MVP or whatever. And I said, how long are you looking at before starting? He said, it'll be at least 2 years. So you've got plenty of time, you know, to do to work with it. But, and he said, if anybody on the board or if the board wants, or if Dave, if you want somebody to come in and explain to you, said call, or I can give you the numbers if you need them, want them sometime, and they'd be more happy to then talk to you about it, so you know what's going on. But it's Omaha Public Power District deal now.
And they bought out. Oh, because that other company was the original company, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah.
And I guess he said EDF was just gonna bail out, wasn't even telling anybody. Kind of a last minute. And he said, I don't know really why, but he said, they offered some other people, other entities. And when they heard about it, they went in and bid on it, they got it for, he said, pennies on the dollars. We couldn't turn it down.
So they'll probably honor all of the.
Yeah.
Agreements.
Supposed to.
Well, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Mr. Chairman, we also had probably the same individual come in and talk to our leadership meeting Wednesday. And spent about an hour and a half with him. Same information that you received.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Okay, we'll move on to the project and program committee report. Richard.
Projects and Program Committee met at 8:08 Thursday, July 13th at the NRD office in York. Those present, committee members, Paul Bethune, Anthony Bohaty, myself, Roger Houdersheldt, Bill Kuehner, Michael Nuss, Matt Perry, Paul Weiss, Lynn Yates. Other directors present were Jeff Bohaty, Doug Dickinson, Rodney Grotz, John Miller, Teresa Otte, Kendall Siebert, William Stahly, and of course, the staff members were also present. Action items: A, land treatment program. There were no new land treatment applications. The committee reviewed the land treatment program funding. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD approved payment of $9,543.65 for 3 completed NRD land treatment projects as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. The motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Any questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes,
Perry,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
motion carried.
Item B, storm damage tree program. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD approved payment of $449.99 for 2 completed storm damage tree projects from Carmen Fowler and Todd Prosney. Recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. The motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move. Second.
Any questions on this? Roll call.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes,
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
motion carried.
Next action item, City of York Letter of Map Revision. JEO continues development on the City of York's Letter of Map Revision, which approved will lessen the effects of the 100-year floodplain in York. The NRD has an interlocal agreement with the City of York in which the NRD agrees to pay 50% of the cost for the process, not to exceed $21,000. The total provided by the NRD as of June 2nd of this year would be $16,213.75. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD approve payment to the City of York of $3,669.38 for work completed from April 29, 2023 through June 2nd, 2023, as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. The motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Any questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
and Yates.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Hazard mitigation plan update. Staff issued requests for proposals to local engineering consultants for updating the Upper Big Blue NRD multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan. The only firm submitting a proposal was JEO Consulting Group. Staff highlighted the qualifications of JEO, including the number of hazard mitigation plans they have completed for other NRDs and the qualification of JEO staff and local projects that has received funding through previous plans. The NRD will be reimbursed for 75% of costs through a grant agreement with the Nebraska Emergency Management Agency. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD accept the proposal from JEO Consulting Group for updating the Upper Big Blue NRD multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan for $99,460 as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. Motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Any questions on this? Okay, John.
Why is there only one group entity that'll bid on these?
I'll try to answer. I know Lower Elkhorn sent out quite a few and they only got 2 proposals. One was from a company out of St. Louis and then JEO. And I think JEO is getting these because they have staffed up specifically to do these plans. So they're kind of hard to compete with. They've got a number of staff with community planning, master's degrees. They hired the retired state hazard mitigation officer, so she works with them. So I don't know. Olson quit doing these last time we did our first update here 5 years ago. So we did notify, I think, 4 consulting firms for.
Jack, how long have you guys been doing the hazard mitigation plan? Like when did that start?
It was started before we did them. I mean, 5 years ago, we got a request, Seward County, York County, and Hamilton County were the last 3 counties to have their own plans. And so they asked for help with the NRD to combine those 3 under the NRD. So I think the plan's been longer in place longer than that, but so the NRD plan has been 5 years that we've been involved. We contributed to some of the other plans when they were written. So
Is it kind of a new space? Like that, there's not very many companies. If we've only been involved, I'm sure it's been going on more than 5 years, but other companies just haven't taken interest in putting these together.
I guess not. Like I said, JO, I mean, they hired people specifically to do these. So they're pretty attractive when you look at their proposal.
Is there any other questions or comments? Roll call.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Otte,
yes,
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Yates,
Yes.
motion carried.
Warning siren agreement. The Upper Big Blue NRD received a grant from the Nebraska Emergency Management Agency to install warning sirens at Pioneer Trails, Recharge Lake, Smith Creek, and Oxbow Trail. NEMA will provide 90% of the cost through the grant agreement. Staff work with local county emergency managers, and most sirens in the area are federal signal sirens. The emergency managers recommended installing federal signal sirens at their recreation areas. Staff received bids from the federal signal for the installation of poles and siren equipment at the 4 sites for $101,972. Additional cost options listed include traffic control, cost associated with electrical inspections and permits if required, and custom removal services. The staff believes these additional options will not be necessary. The installation does not include the electrical hookups from the power to the sirens. Staff will get electrical bids from local contractors once the final siren sites have been finalized. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD accept the bid for the installation of 4 sirens, Pioneer Trail, Recharge Lake, Smith Creek, and Oxbow Trail for $101,972 as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. The motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Any questions on this discussion? Roll call.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes,
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
motion carried.
Village of Bee interlocal agreement drainage project. Staff has prepared a draft interlocal agreement for providing 25% of local costs not to exceed $25,000 for the Pine Street Extension Project, one of the drainage improvement projects identified in V's 2021 drainage study. V's legal representative has reviewed the draft interlocal agreement and has okayed the village signing the agreement. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD enter in an interlocal agreement with the Village of B to provide 25% of the local costs not to exceed $25,000 for the completion of the Pine Street Extension Drainage Improvement Project as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. The motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Any questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes,
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
motion carried.
Item G, the draft 2024 projects budget. The committee reviewed the projects and programs 2024 draft proposal. The funding for the Henderson and Giltner drainage assistant projects was removed because both projects will likely not be started until fiscal year 2025. Discussion included adding funding for an additional stream gauging site to be installed after discussion with the Nebraska Department of Natural Resources. Okay, the motion was that the Upper Big Blue NRD at 25,000 to the projects and programs 2024 draft budget for the installation of an additional stream gauge, with the site to be selected with input from the Nebraska Department of Natural Resources as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. The motion carried 6 yes and 3 no. And we need not for that. Not for that one, we don't.
Because that's already been
Okay.
incorporated in the consolidated budget and the executive committee will
Okay.
make a decision.
As a matter of fact, the next two motions,
Yeah, there's no motion. I didn't know if that extra needed.
yeah.
Okay, so then item H was a draft 2024 Parks and Forestry budget. The committee reviewed the Parks and Forestry 2024 draft budget. No changes were made to the budget presented at the committee meeting. And the motion was that the Upper Big Blue Committee forward the Parks and Projects draft budget to the Executive Committee for consideration as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. Discussion and no action items. I, publication of legal notice of meeting. Chairman myself reported that notice of the project program meeting was published in the York News Times. Open meetings, chairperson advised those in attendance that the Open Meetings Act is posted on the entrance to the boardroom. K, private dams program, consider cost share payments. 2 private dams will be completed soon. Chrisman and Bohaty. The NRCS is working on the initial design of several dams. The committee reviewed the private dams funding. Item L, tree program. The NRD staff has planted several larger trees at Pioneer Trails in the 10th camping area and is planning on planting larger trees at Smith Creek where a number of trees were removed. Item M, Oxbow Trail Recreation Area Supply Well. Volsky Corporation is planning on starting the installation of the supply well around the 1st of September. They may put in the test well within the next couple of weeks. Item N, Overland Trail Well and Security Light. Staff met with Ernest well drilling on site. The select site for the well will need to be moved due to space room requirements, 200 feet from water and 60 feet from road center line for a portable water supply. New well site will be north of the parking area and will require additional water line and an additional electrical line. This change of well site will add to the cost for the water line and the electrical line. Dawson Electric is planning on beginning the electrical line installation in the next week or so, and Ernst Well Drilling is planning on beginning the well installation the first week of August and should be done by mid-August. Langworthy Rhine Miller Dam update. With advice from NRD Legal, staff sent Ken Morgan of the Jesse Langworthy Trust a letter denying the trust request to delay the removal of the material in the conservation pool until the beans could be harvested, so the trust would be able to waste the material from the conservation pool on the cropland, which would save money and hauling costs. The area that the trust wanted to put the material is within the drainage area of the dam, so there is a concern the material would flow back into the reservoir. The trust is supposed to respond by July 14th, or the NRD will continue with the original plan of removing the fill material and hauling it to the northeast area of Oxbow Trail. Broken Arrow Excavating could start the fill material removal around the end of July. Item P, Lake Hastings Water Quality Management Plan. Tara Holgren from the city of Hastings will be relocating to a new position in Colorado. Tara reviewed some of the modeling work she has completed. JEO will begin working on the plan. Upper Big Blue NRD reverse osmosis pilot program. Staff presented a few ideas for the NRD reverse osmosis pilot program. Ideas discussed include eligibility, cost share amounts, cost sharing on systems and or filters, and tracking the program. It was seemed that most thought it would be better to cost share on the new systems and not on filters. Staff will continue to develop a draft program for the committee board to review. Additional information, projects priority list. Staff had received 10 of 17 ranking sheets, hoping to get final ranking sheets by the September 27th board meeting. The meeting adjourned at 8:40 PM, and that is the project programs committee report for today.
Okay, thank you, Richard. Yes, Jack, go ahead.
Just give you a little update on Langworthy. Ken Morgan called and said, well, your letter said we want to put that material on the beans. Well, that's what he told us. So now he's proposing they're going to put on the corn ground. We told him couldn't put on the beans because that's in the drainage area. And so they're supposed to get back to me of what, they're probably gonna have to cut their corn to put the material, they want to keep the material. So they'll have to cut out part of the corn, maybe an acre or something. That's we determined it where we can pile the material on, but they want to keep it. And I just surprised when he said, why did you say we want to put on the beans? That came from him. I wasn't gonna decide on where to do, but so Broken Arrows plan on start, and then we're gonna start maybe next week, probably be another week yet. Till Ken gives us that area, and Jeff has set some slope stakes out there, and Broken Arrow wants to use the GPS stuff in part of his equipment, so we're gonna bring a surveyor back out to set some points so his equipment can tie to them. So we're hoping in about another week or so, we'll get started on this.
On that project priority list, I know Jack would like to have. all
Yeah, I
the-
should have said July 27th. That was my mistake by this board meeting.
Oh,
I did,
yeah.
I do have 12 and 17, so that's pretty good listing.
Okay. Okay, but I know he would like to have as much input on that as what he could, so, okay. Thank you, Jack, for that. Oh, okay, now we'll move on to the executive committee report. Bill?
The executive committee met at 7 PM on Thursday, July 20th, 2023 at the NRD office in York. Those in attendance were committee members Yates, Kuehner, Dickinson, Stahly, Bethune, Siebert, Bohaty, Houdersheldt, and Miller. Board Chairperson Yates informed those present that we published the legal notice of the committee meeting on July 20, 2023 in the York News Times. Yates advised those present that the Open Meeting Act is posted by the entrance to the boardroom. Item A, Director's second quarter per diem and expenses. The executive committee reviewed the director's per diem and expenses for the past quarter. Totals for the second quarter director's per diem are $7,840 and expenses are $3,678.09 for a total expenditure of $11,518.09. Individual expense vouchers were available for review. Motion to approve payment of a second quarter 2023 director's per diem of $7,840 and expenses of $3,678.09 for a total of $11,518.09, and to publish these approved expenditures in the June 2023 financial report, except that each director who has per diem and or reimbursement of expenses included in such financial report abstains from voting for the approval of his or her own per diem and or expense reimbursement. The motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Okay, is there any questions on this? Discussion? Roll call.
Jeff. Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss.
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes. Yes.
Motion carried.
Item B, NRD shared services salaries reimbursement. The first is the Little Blue NRD. An invoice dated June 23rd, 2023 totaling $22,494.43 was submitted by the Little Blue NRD for the salary of the Clay County NRCS Secretary for work performed in fiscal year 23, July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. An invoice dated June 23rd, 2023 totaling $6,136.94 was also submitted by the Little Blue NRD for the salary of the Adams County NRCS Secretary for work performed in the fiscal year 23. The total payment request for the Upper Big Blue NRD share of both positions is $28,631.37. The motion to approve payment of $28,631.37 to the Little Blue NRD for the fiscal year 23 salaries of the NRCS secretaries in Adams and Clay County. The motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Any questions on this?
Mr. Chairman, I was asked to come up with the percentage of the two counties, and I've got all of them. So when Bill gets to them, we'll break them all out. There's 43.2% of Clay County in the Upper Big Blue NRD and 12.6% of Adams County in the Upper Big Blue NRD.
Okay. Is there any other questions or comments on this? Call.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt.
Yeah.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Otte,
yes,
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff, Yates,
Yes.
motion carried.
Item 2, Lower Big Blue NRD, an invoice dated June 9th, 2023 totaling $7,432.17 was received from the Lower Big Blue NRD for the salary of the Saline County NRCS Secretary for work performed in the fiscal year 23. Motion to approve payment of $7,432.17 to the Lower Big Blue NRD for the Saline County NRCS Secretary's fiscal year 23 salary. The motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
second,
Questions on this?
Mr. Chairman, if you look at the invoice, there's actually 10.97% of Saline County in the Upper Big Blue NRD.
Any other comments? Roll call.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes,
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
motion carried.
Item 3, Lower Platte North NRD, an invoice dated July 13th, 2023 totaling $16,789.95 was received from the Lower Platte North NRD for the salary of the Butler County NRCS Secretary for work performed in fiscal year 23. Motion to approve payment of $16,789.95 to the Lower Platte North NRD for the Polk County NRCS Secretary's fiscal year 23 salary.
Okay.
That should be Butler County.
Butler County, I apologize.
Second.
Motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Oh, sorry, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Is there any questions on this one?
44.7% of Butler County is in the Upper Big Blue NRD.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yeah.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Bohaty,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item C, the fiscal year 2024 budget. Eichenberg recommended that the board approve the additional 1% restricted funds authority. The board will need to take action to approve the additional 1% restricted funds authority. An affirmative vote of 3/4 majority of those present and voting is required to pass. Motion to approve an increase in the total budgeted restricted funds authority by an additional 1%. The motion carried 6 yes, 3 no, and I so moved.
Any questions on this? Comments?
Mr. Chairman, because all 17 are in attendance, it'll take 13 votes, affirmative votes to pass this. 75% of 17.
If I abstain, I don't know, that cut it down by one. Down to 12?
President ain't voting is the way it is.
I just thought I'd throw that out though. Okay, any other, Mike?
It's in statute. It, and any political subdivision that requests the 1% addition is a 3/4% or 3/4 majority vote.
Go ahead, Roger.
This allows us to increase it by 1%, but it's not required to.
Right.
It just gives us a little wiggle room.
Yeah, in the future year.
Is there any other questions or comments? Yes, Kendall. Oh,
If you look at that. I have one here in front of me.
If you look down and do you have the copy? In the center, you can see 1% will give you $23,834.88 addition. The 2.5% increase is $59,587.19.
If you look down below, it's in that kind of a harvest gold. What you have right now for unused authority is 981,978.87. But quite a bit of that came from this year unused tax authority that we have 510,000 that was from this year. Because we taxed that much less than what we could have. Probably partly because we're doing those transfers also out of the sinking fund.
So really the 1% that's been added to that fund over the years, different. 510,000.
That's part of it, yes. It depends, I mean, if you would, you could use, I mean, I guess I don't want to say this, you could use some of that during the year, but it's also what you didn't, budget in prior years that you put out.
Mike.
We have a winner.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call.
Houdersheldt,
Yeah.
Kuehner,
No.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Bohaty,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
No.
Siebert,
No.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
No.
Bethune,
Yeah.
Anthony,
No.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
No.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
No.
Yates,
Yes.
That Fail. And seven.
Item number 2, a draft of the fiscal year 24 consolidated budget was presented to the committee. Total tax asking for fiscal year 24 is up 1.85% as compared to the fiscal year 23 budget in this draft. Eigenberg provided a brief presentation outlining the budgeting process and rationale behind the proposed budget. Motion to adopt the draft fiscal year 24 consolidated budget for the purpose of the public hearing. Motion carried, 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Any questions on this discussion? Comments? You want to say anything?
You want me to go through for the people that weren't at the executive session and give the logic I gave last Thursday? I think it'd be beneficial because we had 9, but we had 7 that weren't there. So let me step through it. I'll try and be as brief as I can.
Does everybody have one of these in front of them?
For those that weren't at the executive session, I laid one in front of, on the table in front of you. If those that were at the executive session, if you didn't bring them back, I got additional ones up here. Does anybody need them? I got a few more. Okay, if you go to what we call the cover page, if you look, it is a increased budget of 1.85%. That's at the upper right-hand corner. The upper left-hand corner, you can see that there's $15,547,839,908 of valuation. That is last year's valuation. We will not have that set for a couple more months. So that is last year. You can see that you go straight across and you can see a percent change of 0. That's because we don't know valuation for this year. In order for this budget to work, we had to transfer $320,000. We had to excuse me, I lost train of thought there. In order for this to work, we have to have a transfer from our sinking fund of $320,000. There was an inquiry last Thursday of what that $320,000 is. We have $132,000 for the Oxbow Trail supply well. We have $25,000 for the rework of the Oxbow Trail East entrance. We have $100,000 coming out of the sinking fund for the Belgium Dam maintenance. We have $50,000 for Langworthy, and we have $13,000 for the village of B. We will have to decrease this budget by $23,834.88 because we actually wrote in here that we thought we would get the 1%. So this budget will be reduced by that amount. If you go to page 2, 3, and 4, those are the same numbers that you have seen months previous drafts. If you go to page 5, this is where we had to change up a little bit to make things work. We took $20,000 out of line 14 AC code of 4,439. I took $20,000 out of admin legal. So we have $30,000 remaining. We have $20,000 that will be reduced. If you go to page 6, line 44 AC code of 502, we took $165,000 out for the small picnic shelters that we talked about over a year ago. And if we don't have the small picnic shelters, we don't need $7,160 worth of picnic tables to go in those. We removed out of line 48 AC code of 509. We took $10,000 out of the forestry department. So we only have $10,000 left in that line item. And then we took $25,000 out of projects for the water quality management plan. Page 7, there was no changes. I'll give you a little bit of time to think about it and ask any questions that you may have of those changes and the cover page.
Any questions? Take as much time as you need. If there is no other questions or comments, I will call for roll call.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
No.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yeah.
Yates,
Yes.
That carried 16-1.
Item 3, the dates for 2 public hearings need to be set so the proper public notices can be published. In the past, public hearings have coincided with the August and September board meetings. The board will need to take action to schedule the fiscal year 24 budget hearing for 7 p.m. Thursday, August 17th, 2023, and a special public hearing for the fiscal year 24 tax requests for 7 p.m. Thursday, September 21st, 2023. Regular monthly board meetings will also occur on these dates. Motion to schedule the fiscal year 24 budget hearing for 7 p.m. Thursday, August 17th, 2023, and the fiscal year tax request hearing for 7 p.m. Thursday, September 21st, 2023. The motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Miller,
Yeah, John. Any questions or comments on this? Roll call.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
motion carried.
No action items. Item D, public relations update. This year's tour is scheduled for August 25th, 2023. We will visit the southeast quadrant of the district. If a board member has any suggestions for a specific area of interest, please contact the staff with your recommendations. Item E, personnel report. Jeff Ball has announced his retirement. left. Job search is under the way. You got anything, any leads, Dave? Anything to say about?
We have been very unsuccessful in even getting applications for this position. So I have reached out to Southeast Community College. They have a land surveying, GIS, civil engineering technology 2-year degree. So I have reached out to that instructor to help us look through our job description and maybe point us in the right direction to look for these kind of candidates. So I do not have anything other than that to add.
A verbal offer has been extended for the water conservationist position, and management is waiting for written confirmation from the individual before making an official announcement.
And I can add to that. I have not received anything in writing, but I did talk to the gentleman on the phone this afternoon. Caleb Fritz from Stromsburg has agreed to take the position of water conservationist. For the past several years, he has been the quality assurance specialist in the ethanol plant in Central City. He came in and did a presentation to staff. Although his topic was on ethanol and not necessarily water, I think that he's very, very knowledgeable and very intelligent person and is very trainable.
The monthly financial statements attached.
Can I add
bet.
one
Go
more?
ahead.
Can I add one more thing? I guess that was the good news. The bad news is that we have had a resignation tenured by Miranda Coffey. She has decided to be a stay-home mom for a while. So we will start searching for a water data specialist in the near term. Okay, now.
You can see all the upcoming events in the back of your committee sheet. The meeting adjourned at 8:10 p.m. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Bill. Okay, we'll move on to the financial statement and approval of bills to be paid.
In your package, you'll see the monthly fund summary and the expenditures for the month. Staff will be happy to try and answer any questions that you may have.
On the accounts receivable, back page, aging summary. The Little Blue NRD owes us some money. Is that for their share?
That's what we've invoiced them.
Okay,
for the clerical.
Yes. Oh, go ahead.
451.4 part. Yes.
The mini excavator was used to plant the trees out at Pioneer Trails. The ground was so terribly hard that we couldn't. And then we had some other things that we did with it. There was a minimal of 3-day rental, I believe. And so that $1,000 is for a 3-day rental for a mini excavator. We have watered them a lot. We had to purchase some hoses too. If you look in here, we had some hose purchases from Ace. It takes a lot of hose from one hydrant to stretch all over out there.
Motion to approve the financial statement.
Second.
Does anybody have any other questions or comments? Roll call.
Nuss,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Grotz,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, the next thing, the NRCS report. Grant?
Grant Jackson, filling in for Josh. Don't have a whole lot to report. Finishing contracting for our, equip CSP. And there's a new IRA, which is the Inflation Reduction Act. They gave us some extra money towards the end of the year, so there's a few contracts on that. And those will be what they consider climate smart practices. So they're targeting like cover crops, nutrient management, conversion from diesel to electric motors, stuff like that. So there'll be a lot of funds this coming fiscal year going towards that program. And talking with Josh, we do have one suggestion for the board to consider in the future. With all these big hailstorms coming through the area the last 3 to 5 years. At the fiscal level, it's hard to get a emergency funding for like cover crops or whatever established in a timely time frame, because I think they have to have a 30-day sign up. So I don't know if at the local level, if that's something you guys could consider to have an emergency fund for situations like that. So I thought I'd bring that to the board while I'm here to consider. So does anybody have any questions for me?
That, when you're talking about diesel to electric, what do you, I mean, what, you have any idea what they're getting? I mean, I know what they're trying to do, the amount of money and.
They're trying to eliminate, they want more efficient, less pollution. One stipulation currently is though you have to destroy your current motor. They won't let you reuse it or resell it.
Yeah.
So there hasn't been a lot of the guys will ask about it and then I tell them that and that shuts the conversation.
What about LP motors?
Any conversion, there you can go from LP to electric or
And how about natural gas?
natural gas to electric. There's lots of different options and then it pays so much by horsepower. And like I said, I haven't had an actual application for it, just some interest in it. So
I mean, it just, when you start talking about put electric, well, then you're talking a lot of money. What are they, how much is there per situation, I guess?
well, so I have in front of me, like I said, they pay so much per horsepower up. I think there's a under 12 horsepower and then 12 to 75. But I don't remember what the actual payment was, but I do have that available. If you guys would like it, I could send that to Dave. Just so you'd have a ballpark.
Is there, so I guess that probably answers my question, but I was curious if there's any, a lot of places have diesel or natural gas because they don't have power lines. Is there any incentive for the power line or it's just one lump sum?
It's just a one lump sum.
A number of years ago, this probably been 10 years ago, there was some program out there, I don't even know who was doing it, to get more efficient diesel engines. To replace some of the old ones, because I know people, and they had to destroy the heads or do something on them, so they wouldn't be used again. But I don't know who was doing that, but that was, to increase the efficiency. But, and so when does that program
It'll coincide.
sign up?
it'll coincide with our other ones. Typically, we cut off applications in November. We take them year round and cut them off in November for the following year, so.
Anybody have any other questions for Grant?
All right,
Sounds like
thank you.
Richard's ready to sign up over here, you know. Thank you very much. Okay, so we'll move on to the NARD report. All,
Sign up for the NARD conference is started, so let Nancy, I assume you want to know.
I did send out an email to
Yeah.
everyone, so yes, if you're interested in registering or need a hotel room, if you could please let me know as soon as possible.
Okay. And then just to expand a little bit on what Larry said with the code of conduct, legal counsel did send out their version of a code of conduct to the NARD, because several NRDs are now looking at this. And then send it out to our members, and then Dave got it as well, so I assume when we look at it, that'd be available to the board. That's all I got this month.
okay. Thank you, Paul. Anybody have any questions for him? Okay, chairman's report. I was gonna mention, you know, the fall conference that's been done. There's a sign-up sheet back there for the tour in the southeast area, but if you're planning on going, Crystal would like to know, and then if you want to ride too, or get on a van, you know, so I'm sure she would appreciate that. That is the end of next month. So, and I really don't have anything else. Go ahead, Jack.
I think I haven't announced that at our projects committee meeting, but John asked me tonight why there's yellow tape around the playground at Pioneer Trails. We had another couple kids get stuck by steel fibers. And we haven't really got the commitment we did before from the company that provided rubber mulch, but so they were kind of questioning, saying, well, gosh, we haven't had these before. And we've got two in the same site. And I said, we can't leave kids out there. I mean, if one of them could get stuck in the eye and, you know, I mean, we're kind of lucky. Actually, it was Todd's son that got stabbed and his friend, I think they got stabbed in the rear. But he didn't want to make a big deal of it. And I said, we can't leave that open if we know there's fibers in there. So I just thought I'd better let people know that. I'm sorry.
How old is it?
I think October of last year was when the first batch went in and we had them steel fibers. So it was, they paid for all the removal, brought in new rubber mulch and our guys put it in. And this was, I think, in June when the kids got stabbed again. So he didn't seem very willing this time, but we talked about maybe putting in that wood chips like out at Recharge, called engineer wood fiber chips or something. So.
Well, that's why I was wondering if there's something else. Prior.
And actually the state guy that gave us a grant for that rubber fiber, he asked for a picture of it and I happened to tell him a reason we didn't report the first time. We thought they're going to replace everything, we'll be fine. But I told him about it. And he's kind of checking around to see if there's any other incidents that they had. He hadn't found anything yet. So.
Oh, okay. So does anybody have anything else they want to bring up? I did hear, even being hot, there's one person there that still won't give up fishing when it's extremely hot.
Hey, before you guys leave, I have your checks here.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Does anybody have anything else? I need another, John.
Move to adjourn.
Second. Who had the second on that? Everybody jumped.
Build it.
Yeah. No, usually he has the motion. All of those in favor of adjourning, say aye. All those opposed, say nay. We are adjourned. Well,